Why do we love sampled music and sampling so much? Is it because it sounds old and gritty? Maybe. Is it because making music this way is easier? Probably not. I think it's the same reason why cold pizza at 9 a.m. the next morning tastes so good, or why two friends from separate friend groups getting together, hanging out, is so special. Familiar things we already love, re-envisioned in a new context, are cool. What's up, guys? I'm Carmine. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how to make samples and how to make your own samples to chop up in beats, ambient music, scoring stuff, whatever. So what makes samples and sampling so cool? This is all just going to be my opinion, nothing really too scientific about it. I've been working in the field, sampling music, making beats, writing film scores, doing that kind of thing for over 15 years now. So this is all just my own field research, if you will. From my experience, I think it's a lack of context. I think it's context re-envisioned in a new context, but just a little bit of a familiar sound in there that gives us that nostalgic feeling that is what we're drawn to when it comes to samples. This is very multifaceted because in some cases it's a song that we already know. It's a hit song from the 60s and everybody knows it and is familiar with it in that way. In other cases, it's a style. It's reminiscent of a style that we all know, but maybe not actually a song in particular that is well recognized. The example there would be something like Splice. There's a million gospel samples or R&B samples or vintage samples, rock samples that you could go on and grab from there that aren't popular songs. Nobody knows those tracks, but that's kind of the idea of what we're talking about today. The next evolution of that, in my opinion, is instead of going on and getting somebody else's, getting into it, writing a song, an idea, a musical motif for yourself, then sampling that. Alright, so that was it. We're going to work with that one. And now let's chop that up and see how weird we can make it. Here's it, super raw. Okay, so I like this right here. This will be our little chop. I'm going to start with adding a little bit of like a tape sound. Just make this sound like nice and stanky off the bat. Let's go folk warmth on this Studer A800 plugin. And now my other go-to is going to be this Universal Audio Sound City Studios. This is going to just give it that space, like as though I were in 1977 recording this in a studio. And I like this off the bat. We're going to put it in reverb mode so I could blend it in a little bit. And then I'm going to go about 50%. Okay, now I like to try a few things. First thing I like to try is like, do I like it in reversed? Could be. I don't know exactly how I want to chop this, but for now, no. Do I want to speed this up? Like cut it in half? It's all right. I think I might leave it around the same speed for right now. I think what I want to do is knock it down. We'll take it down like four steps. Yep. Okay, I love this. Okay, now the big thing here is I might want the beat to sound a little bit faster. I might not want it to be at this same tempo. So all I would do, I'll throw fades on this, and then I'm just gonna bounce out this audio as something to work with and sample later. Saturation on there. I put the Sound City Studios on there because my thought is that's where this was recorded. That's what we're going for. We want it to sound like that's baked in. We don't get a choice. That boundary is going to lead to creativity later, okay? I think if you start with the sample that you wrote yourself, it's inherently more authentic to you. A, you might come across something or a new song idea that you didn't know you wanted to write or you could write. B, you might wind up with 2 songs or 3 songs or 4 songs out of that one idea. C, it can allow people to really connect with what you're writing instead of going out and recontextualizing someone else's music. Going out and grabbing old samples or other people's songs and chopping them up is super cool. So don't let this be an indictment on that process. I just think there's a lot to be learned from doing it from 0 to 1. So now I have my sample set up. I chopped it. It's very, very simple beat, very simple kick snare pattern. It sounds like this. Now all I'm going to do, I got my kick snare, I got a little hi-hat pattern there. I have the chops from the beginning of the sample and then the back end of the sample to make a little like a motif, a little theme once again. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of some dirty piano sound from Ableton. Simple, 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 simple. Now let's just do the same thing with some bass. Extremely simple, nothing crazy. You know, I just took the sample and I just made some chord hits around it. You know, it's going to be different for each context. This was just sort of a little simpler one. We have to keep in mind that this hybridization of music doesn't matter whether you're doing everything all in the box. It doesn't matter if you do everything all analog. Sure, specific to certain genres, that sound and that process can be important. Everybody has their own philosophy on how things work. But I am someone who tries to work in all fields, in all mediums when it comes to music. The song and the sample, whatever you're working on, the score, the beat, it just has to sound genuine and authentic, and it has to sound like you, for lack of a better term, gave a shit while you were making it. So there's another approach here that I've been working on lately. I'm by no means a master at this approach, but it's something I want to kind of talk through and work through in front of you. It's just doing a more of a full song approach. So in this context, we'll take like 10 seconds or 15 seconds of a motif. We'll have bass, maybe some guitar, maybe piano, drums, and taking that as though we're just taking a chop just straight from a record. Can't really separate stems. You can't really work with. That's one of the things I think leads to samples being so cool sometimes, is because there's a little drum hit in there that you can't get rid of, and then that helps accentuate the groove in a certain way. So I just wanted to do something that was like, you know, still hitting this vintage vibe. Then I wanted some variety here. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, let it end in a happy place. Then I added bass to really fill everything out. Then I just thought, okay, like let's have some organ in there. So there's a piano player in the room, there's a bass player in the room, organist in the room. Then there's a little string section here with some pizzicato strings. And then just for some tension, I wanted to add these little major second trills here. Listen to how I chopped it, all right? So now you get these little pizzicato strings and things in the background there, and that's really, to me, it just adds this little push and pull. It's not perfect, you know what I mean? It's not perfect with the beat, and that's really important to me. And so to recreate that and to know you have to recreate this difficult thing is it's hard. It's hard to like force yourself to do, but this way of doing it has kind of like brought to light like what those imperfections that you're actually looking for and the ones you actually wind up appreciating are. I mean, after all, this is basically what a modern remix is, or what sampling is in the first place. But the main difference is just starting with you. You start with your idea and your original seed. At the end of the day, it just gives you a chance to make this fresh and make it unique, and, you know, be in a discovery mode and be in a mode where you're just playing and you're curious and you're finding new things out. I think we need more of that in music. I think we need new ideas. That's my biggest approach and my biggest focus as I'm looking at just composing and writing new music all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, let me know what you think. If you have any ideas on other video topics, please let me know. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.